Do you ever find yourself wondering if God has forsaken you? Do you ever find yourself wrestling with the truth of the fact that your feelings are screaming at you that God is not hearing you? Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Another translation says, faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It is the evidence of things we cannot see. You see, we can have all of these big feelings, but we can also still have big faith. And one of those great examples, those heroes of the faith that we read about in the Old Testament and then again in Hebrews chapter 11 is Abraham. Abraham was called on a journey without a map. He was called to a journey without knowing where his final destination would be, just that it was out there somewhere. And God just said, go, believe, and trust. And so he did. But along the way, he made mistakes born out of fear, mistakes born out of doubt. And yet, Abraham went. Abraham believed. Abraham trusted. He made mistakes, but God didn't abandon him. God stayed faithful to him, even with all of the feelings that Abraham felt. He still obeyed God and trusted God. Faith extends beyond what we can learn from our senses, and we need it for what we cannot see or touch. It is a willingness to trust in, to rely on, and to cling to. But what happens when our feelings beg us to rely on ourselves and tell us that God is not trustworthy? Feelings are indicators. But too often they want to be dictators and they want to determine our choices. Our feelings can beat up our faith. They don't have to. There's room in our life for expression of feelings and for firm faith. So, what can we do? We can learn from Abraham. You see, Abraham didn't deny the reality that he was old, that his wife was old. He didn't deny this heartache that he felt. And in wondering, God, when are you going to answer my prayer? Yet, even though what he saw didn't jive with what he knew to be true, he chose to believe. He chose to be unwavering in his faith despite his feelings. You see, we can recognize our feelings, whatever they may be, whether we're sad or mad, nervous or scared, insecure or fearful of rejection. Having a strong faith doesn't mean that we deny our feelings. Instead, we recognize our feelings. We acknowledge what we're feeling, but we make decisions based on God's word. Faith is a firm persuasion and expectation that God will fulfill his promises.